here.
We'll get started resting our tailbone. Feel our spine grow tall. Feel our shoulders relax. Let's gather in some long, deep breaths from our nose towards the belly. Finding release as we relax the breath. Back out of our belly, out of our nose. Noticing length in our spine as we inhale. Shoulders, hips resting as we exhale. Feel a few relaxing breaths. We send the spine tall, relaxing an ear to the shoulder, helping our side of the neck to stretch open. Let's lift up tall and relax towards the other side. And as we lift up tall, slide our shoulder blades up and down just a few times. As our shoulders rest, our palms open, inhaling, fingertips reaching tall, exhaling, thumbs down to the heart. Inhaling as we lengthen, exhaling, longer. Do one more breath, inhaling tall, and exhaling down. As we interlace our fingers, pushing our knuckles out of our belly in, pull through the shoulder blades. We're going to lengthen up our spine so we have our fingers interlaced. We're going to interlace with the other thumb on top and pull again, stretching through the knuckles. And lifting the ribs, pushing the palms out ahead of us, shoulders relax, and slide arms side to side. Just a flowing movement side to side as we breathe. As we find neutral, let's push the palms towards the sky, stretching side to side. As we send our palms up to the sky, lift the ribs and open the chest. As we exhale, let's slide the arms to one side, picking up the ribs on the inhale, twisting through the exhale, just a moment to breathe. Find neutral, inhaling, reaching tall. Exhaling to the other side, lifting the ribs, twisting. As we come back to neutral, let's lift the heart on the inhale. Exhaling, thumbs down to the heart. Helping our bodies to all fours. Send wrists under the shoulders, send knees under the hips, feel the spine lengthening. Let the next inhale pull the heart forward, opening cow pose. Exhaling ribs up to the sky as we fold into cat. We'll feel a little flowing movement through the spine as we breathe, expanding on the inhales, folding through the exhales, and feeling just a little releasing, relaxing breath. We're welcome to keep the movement flowing back and forth. We can find neutral spine and add a little side to side. Shoulders reaching towards the hips on one side. Shoulders reaching towards the hips on the other side. Finding a little stretch side to side. Feel a little evenness, our ribs come in, our right heel stretches out, pushing the toes back, pushing the toes towards the ground, finding some flexion through our ankle and our foot. We're stretching our lower leg. With our toe reaching the ground, we can stay. Our left fingertips can reach forward, our left thumb to the sky, and heel extension through fingers and heel, and breathe. As we relax the arm, we'll bend the knee and start to circle the hip, finding just a little bit of rolling movement. And then maybe trading out that direction. As we rest that knee, let's stretch the left heel out. Feel it lengthen the spine, beginning to flex, toes reaching back, toes reaching towards the ground. Finding that movement, just whatever our body allows today as we breathe. And as our toes stretch towards the ground, inner thighs, lower belly, engage to lengthen and stabilize the spine. Option send the right fingertips or thumb forward and breathe. As our palm rests, we're bending the left knee and allowing it to circle. And trading out our direction. And we'll relax the knees, sink the hips back, find our way into any variation of a child's pose. Relaxing the shoulders, the ribs, the lower back, feeling a few relaxing breaths. Arms can stay reaching towards the top of the mat. Arms can reach over to the left, opening through the right side body. Maybe reaching back to neutral and then over towards the other side. So we send our bodies back to neutral, maybe relaxing for a moment, maybe widening out the fingertips, lifting through the middle of the palm, or tucking our toes and sending our tailbone to downward dog. Option to find bent knees in downward dog, or maybe reaching our legs towards straight, or maybe moving our legs, pulling one thigh forward, pressing the other thigh back, and feeling just a little bit of flowing movement through our muscles as we breathe. Helping our feet towards our hands, releasing into any variation of a forward fold, maybe fingertips on the ground or the shins or the thighs. Finding some freedom so we can let our head and neck relax up and down. A little side to side, a little up and down again. Letting our inhale reach us up halfway. Planting the heels, we're inhaling, reaching up all the way, heart stretches open. Exhaling, palms into our heart. Let's slide one arm up to the sky, one arm to the ground, pulling the fingers in opposite directions. And then we'll trade, send the other arm up to the sky, the other arm towards the ground. We'll send both arms tall, picking up the lungs. Let's exhale and swan dive all the way down. Sending the right toes behind us, releasing the back knee and the toes on the ground. Arms come beyond either side of the front leg or the inside. We're inhaling and sending our heart forward into our lunge. Exhaling, releasing our hips back into our half pyramid. And maybe we're flowing back and forth or finding a place to stay, whichever feels better. Let's release and relax with our breath. We're enjoying a moment of movement or finding a place to feel a few releasing exhales as our heart stretches towards the thighs, resting into our breath. Our inhale sends us forward, our exhale slides us back, finding our way into a place of rest and release as we breathe. Enjoying a moment of stillness in child's pose, maybe we slide forward into our kneeling plank, stabilizing the spine to stay, or feeling elbows fold into our ribs. Inhaling, flowing the heart open to cobra. Exhaling, returning to child's pose and resting. Feeling a moment to breathe. Helping the right foot find its way into our lunge, sliding our heel under our knee. Arms where we feel comfortable. Let's inhale and pull the heart forward. Exhaling, relaxing our hips back. And maybe we're flowing with our breath. Inhaling towards the lunge. Exhaling towards the half pyramid. Creating that release through our hips and our thighs as we breathe. Enjoying a moment of relaxation and rest. We're continuing our movement, feeling a little release through our exhale. And your inhale drops back forward, and then exhale back to child's pose, finding a moment to breathe. So we're going to continue in child's pose. We're going to have an option for a little different type of flow. So we have the option to inhale forward into a kneeling plank. Let our inhale push the heart forward, but try not to sink in the lower back, just pushing as far as we can stay lifted. And then as we send our tailbone over the knees, picking up the chest and lifting the lungs towards the sky. And then we'll return to our child's pose. So we'll do that a few times, optional, or staying in child's pose. Maybe stretching into that kneeling plank, opening through the heart, reaching the hips back, and lifting through the chest. We'll try maybe 2 more times, our body's choice. Feeling the body moving as we breathe, expanding and relaxing into breath. Just one last flow with our own body's range of motion, our own body's pace of movement. And then anytime we're ready, finding that child's pose to rest and relax into our breath. through our spine and maybe pedal out our feet just a bit. If we'd like a three-legged dog, we're welcome to send the right toes up towards the sky, helping our right foot find its way into our lunge. Now we can stay the back heel up or the back heel down. So we're lifting up to either crescent lunge or warrior one, whichever one works the best on the body. So as we find stability, feel inner thighs engage, lower belly engage, shoulders relax, and then stretching our fingertips towards the sky. So as we feel stability and strength here, we're just going to feel a few stretching breaths, openness through our lungs as we breathe. And maybe we stretch that front leg towards straight. It can stay. Maybe we sink it back down. So again, that back heel can be up or down, whichever feels the most stable at the moment. Stretching through our breath. And then we open up to our warrior two, planting the back heel, arms drawing towards our feet. We may need to readjust the legs to find a more stable stance. Let the shoulders relax, our palms open, and then our elbows bend a bit. And we'll lengthen through the arms and then soften back through the elbows. Lengthening and releasing for just a few deep breaths here as we stretch and relax into our breath. Now as we bend our elbows, feeling the front elbow resting onto the thigh, and then this back arm is going to have a little bit of options. So as the back arm reaches behind us, we can just roll through the wrist, through the elbow, through the shoulders. Or with the palm down, you can slide it to the side, over the head, and then back. If that doesn't feel the best on our shoulders today, we can open the palm to the sky and pull it over the head and reach it back. So choosing where our shoulder feels the most stable today, and breathe. Now the next time our arm finds a position that feels good, it can be back, it can be on the hip or up or over. We're going to have some options with the leg. So the leg can stay bent, or taking the weight, or if you have any weight on the leg, off the leg, and lengthening the leg towards straight, and then bending the knee. So we're feeling maybe a little bit of movement in the legs, or option for stillness. Feel that stretch and release through our breath. And then we'll find that deep bend in our knees, returning to the lunge of our choice. We'd like to add a twist, guiding our ribs towards the front thigh. Returning to child's pose or downward dog, finding a moment to relax in our child's pose, downward dog, finding a moment that maybe we feel like a little bit more movement. Options for plank, our kneeling plank to stay. Maybe elbows fold into the ribs. We can inhale, guide the heart open, exhaling, sending our hips back, feeling a moment to breathe, resting through our exhales. If we like a three-legged dog, we're welcome to slide the left toes up towards the sky, helping our left foot find its way into our lunge, heel under the knee. Now again, the back heel can be down or lifted. As we walk our palms up to either that warrior one or the crescent lunge. Feel your inner thighs engage, lower belly engage to stabilize. Maybe our fingertips stretch up to the sky. And we can enjoy stillness here, beginning to stretch the front leg towards straight. Outer hip pulls it forward, inner thigh lifts it up. Any range of motion, any pace of movement, finding that strength in our stretch. As we feel the deep bend in the knees, let's plant the back heel, find our way Into our warrior two, we can readjust our feet as needed, finding stable stance. And then feel the shoulders relaxing, the elbows resting. Feel the stability as we lengthen out the arms, and then relax the elbows. So we're reaching and relaxing. Feel just a few deep breaths here. As our arms relax, feeling the front elbow resting. Maybe it's just like softly relaxing on the thigh. The arm reaches back, and feel a little rolling movement through our wrist, through our elbows, through our shoulders. Option to stay with the rolling movement, or with palm down, reaching the arm over the head, and then back to the side, back behind us, or palm up and reaching over and back. So choosing which feels the most stable on our shoulders as we stretch side to side. Now as our arm reaches back, it has the option to just hang out on the hip or reach to the sky or stretch overhead. If we have any weight in the front leg, we're releasing it. So maybe even sending the arm inside the front leg. We can stay knee bent or feel the inner thigh, pull the front leg towards straight, outer hip, pull the knee back towards the heel. So choose where you feel a good stretch, relax into our breath. As we feel the front knee bending, returning to the lunge of our choice, maybe adding our twist towards the front thigh, returning to child's pose or down dog, enjoying a moment of relaxation. Maybe we feel like a little bit of movement as we flow our body into plank, our kneeling plank to stay. Option to have any flowing movement that feels stable. And anytime we're ready, finding relaxation into our breath. Just a moment to breathe. Option for the three-legged dog with the right toes traveling up to the sky. Helping our right foot reach back into our lunge or back heel down to warrior one. Pulling our palms to the thighs, creating inner thigh engagement, lower belly engagement, shoulders resting. Letting the inhale travel fingertips to the sky, feeling stability through our thighs, our belly, everything reaching to the midline. Now from here, we can reach into a diagonal. If it feels okay, maybe the front foot takes on the weight and we tap the back toe still, or we reach the hips and the heart into any variation of a warrior three. So arms can stay over the head or to the side or at the hips or at the heart. Take a couple breaths. Now we'll slide the palms to the heart if they're not there already. Try to take the back knee and you can tap the toe on the ground. You can send the knee in line with the hip, resting the shoulders, lifting the ribs. You have the option to push the heel forward. And breathe. Just a couple breaths wherever we're at. And then this ankle, you can either stack in front of the ankle, pinky toe at the calf or above the knee, staying tall and lifted, or sending the tailbone back into any variation of our standing pigeon, one-legged chair, and breathe. Take a few resting breaths. Anytime we're ready to be tall and lifted, returning the knee to a bend, toe taps on the floor, heel, or knee in line with the hip. We can twist now towards this front thigh, thumb staying at the heart, or arms reaching out, or hands resting on the hip. Knee can stay bent, or you can stretch the front leg towards straight. And we'll return to neutral, hips and heart forward, and then find our way back to the lunge or the warrior one. Taking a deep breath as we travel the heart towards the sky. Exhaling, fingertips to the floor, and returning to child's pose, or downward dog. Enjoying just a moment of reach and release as we breathe. Finding rest and stillness, or sliding into our plank or kneeling plank. Take a moment to hang out. Maybe we feel like movement. Feel a few restful breaths. Anytime we're ready, we're welcome for a three-legged dog with the left toes stretching up to the sky, helping our left foot find its way into our lunge. Back heel up or down, warrior one or the crescent lunge. Squeezing inner thighs in, squeezing lower belly in. Hands can stay at the heart or reach towards the sky. It's good for balance, shoulders resting, taking a moment to breathe. From here, we're hinging, feeling that length, that diagonal line from the back heel, through the hips, through the back of the head. Option to stay here. You can slowly pull the back toe in to tap it on the ground, or stretch it out behind us. Arms can stay forward, or to the side or the heart, you can choose. Feeling just a few stretching breaths in any variation of warrior three for our bodies today. Toes always welcome to find the ground. Then as we lift our chest, we can tap the toe underneath us with a bent knee, or send the knee in line with the hip, or push through the heel to extend the leg. Find a moment to breathe here, any variation your body feels good about. And then as we feel the knee bend, the outer hip opens, so our pinky toe can stack, crossing at the ankle, pinky toe at the calf, or the knee. Continuing to be tall and lifted, or exhaling tailbone back. Continuing to relax into our outer hips, and release into our breath. Feel just a few relaxing exhales. Return to that tall spine. Bending the knee with the toe tapping on the ground, our knee in line with the hip. Let's rotate the ribs towards the front leg. Thumb staying at the heart, or reaching the arms out, or resting the hands on the bent knee. Option to also extend the front leg towards straight twist. Take a few deep breaths. As we return to neutral, we're sending the toe back to our lunge or our warrior one, picking up the lungs as we inhale, heart towards the sky, exhaling, resting down, releasing to child's pose or downward dog, enjoying a moment of rest and relaxation, or maybe we feel like moving into our plank, our kneeling plank, enjoying any place our body feels like hanging out today. And breathe. Feel a few relaxing breaths. Sliding our feet to our hands. Taking just a moment to relax into our shoulders. Let our inhale send us up halfway. Relaxing through the back of the head, through the back of the hips. Always welcoming a soft bend of the knee or straight legs. And we can all bend the knees, resting our palms on the thighs, shoulders releasing. Let our inhale push the heart forward, standing cow. Exhaling, pressing the ribs back, standing cat. Finding that flowing movement into our spine as we breathe. Then feel lower belly kick in, shoulders resting, palms come to the heart. Begin to continue in any variation of chair. May we feel like flowing, reaching towards the toes, towards the heels. Get a little reach up and down into our ankles as we breathe. With our heels grounded, inhaling, pulling our heart towards the sky, and exhaling, thumbs to the heart. We're going to reach into a tree pose of our choice. So one foot can stay on the ground, the other thigh can be forward or open. Reaching in, reaching up, finding our place to focus. Toe stays on the ground or floats. Foot finds the calf or maybe stretches into the inner thigh. Palms at the heart, or resting, or reaching. Anywhere along the way we're feeling pretty stable today. Let's relax through our breath. Letting our bodies release here, relaxing out our joints, trading sides. The other foot feels the ground. Thigh engaged, knee joint softens. The other thigh is forward or open. Reaching in and up. Finding our focal point. Toe on the ground or floating or finding the inner thigh. Hands at the heart or resting or reaching. Taking a moment to breathe. Let's find a few relaxing breaths. Bodies release, moving our joints just a bit. Returning to the front of our mats, expanding our lungs on the inhale, swan diving through the exhale, all the way back to either all fours or downward dog, and feeling a little stretch into our legs as we breathe. Option to send the right toes out or up towards the sky. Moving into pigeon, helping our right knee reach up towards the right wrist. That knee can relax where it's at. We can tuck into the toe and pull the toe bone closer towards the ground. As our hands help lift the rib cage, we'll feel a little bit of openness in the front side body. Option to stay tall and open. Option to move into the diagonal, or maybe we sink a little bit deeper. Feeling any variation of our pigeon today, resting in towards our breath, a few relaxing exhales. Up our lungs as we inhale and feel that expansion through the front side body. As we plant into our palms and tuck into our back toe, we can travel the front foot back to wherever we feel like reaching it to. And maybe we relax in our child's pose or downward dog for a moment. Anytime we're ready to trade sides, if you'd like to send the left toes out or up, helping our left knee up towards the left wrist. The back knee can relax. We can send our tailbone back deeper. Maybe we lift our ribs up taller and feel openness in our lungs. We can stretch into the diagonal or fold towards the ground, wherever our bodies allow relaxation and rest today. Let's keep breathing, feeling peace and rest into our breath. our lungs with our inhale, creating that big opening in our front side body. As we ground into our palms, tuck into that back toe, returning the front foot back where you feel stable, stretching deep breath. And we can all find our way into an all-fours position, feeling the wrist returning under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Feel a few flowing cat and cows. Inhale, sending the heart forward. Exhale, pulling the ribs towards the sky. And finding just a little flowing movement back and forth as we breathe. As we find a neutral spine, we give you some options. We'll start with this all-fours option, sending the right heel behind us, sending the right knee underneath towards the left arm. Doesn't have to touch. Reaching the right heel back, right arm under towards the left. If you're feeling pretty ambitious today, you're welcome to move from a three-legged dog towards this little plank action, depending on how the body's feeling. Just find just a few breaths here. Just stretch and release. Now the next time we send the knee forward, we're going to relax the knee. We're going to try to slide the foot to where you can rest your hip on the ground. The knees, both knees, can be straight, or you can try to lengthen out both legs so it's kind of like this backwards L. And you can continue wherever you landed. We can lift the ribs a little taller and maybe twist the heart towards the front of the mat. And you're feeling that reach through the side body. If our bodies feel too much of an intense of a rotation, we can always turn back to the long side of the mat. So we can stay tongue lifted on our fingertips, or more intensity might be to reach into the elbows. Might be more intense with the straight arms. So you can try things out, see which works better, and breathe. If we want more intensity, walking the elbows away from the legs even further, depending on how much stretch we're feeling like today. And breathe. And we're guiding our palms back underneath us. Feel the grounding in the back toes or thigh to help the front thigh come back to that all fours. Returning to our cow and cat movements, feeling release into our spine. If it would feel better to have a different spinal movement, we can start a shoulder towards the hip, side to side movement, and breathe. We'll take just a few breaths wherever we're feeling like stretching at the moment. And when we're ready to trade sides, we can, from the all fours, send the left heel out from the hip, reach it under towards the right arm, reaching it back, reaching it under. And again, we can continue with the all fours if you're feeling ambitious and want to try this downward dog plank option. Find wherever the body feels like guiding us today, and breathe. Now the next time that knee reaches under, we're going to relax the knee. We're going to move the hips to the side. So you can stay in this bent knee region. You can lengthen out the legs. This kind of little upside down L. You can hang out right here. You lift the ribs. Maybe turn the ribs towards the front of the mat. Again, staying arms, ribs lifted, or reaching the elbows towards the ground. You can find a place to relax wherever the body guides us today. Maybe even drawing the arms further away from the legs, feeling that side body stretch, releasing into our breath. And as we send our bodies back into that tall, lifted chest, we can put the weight in these bent thighs to pull our bodies back to all fours or downward dog. From all fours, you can do cat and cow, move it side to side. If we're in downward dog, you can wiggle the knees and hips a bit side to side. Take a moment to breathe where we feel a good stretch. And we're resting our body in our child's pose at any time. Arms can stay drawing to the top of the mat. Arms can rest under the forehead. Arms can stretch back by our ankles, finding folding and release through our shoulders and neck. Breathe. Letting our body have just a few relaxing breaths. With our inhale, guiding our ribs up tall, let's send our hips to the ground and our legs reach out ahead of us. Feeling just a little rocking movement in our tailbone as we breathe. Now with soften in our knees or straight legs, feeling our ribs grow tall. With our exhale, feel just a diagonal. Thinking about the tailbone pushing into the ground, the top of the head reaching forward. Take a deep breath and push the heart as far towards the toes as it will go. And then let the body release any variation of forward fold. We're feeling good about at the moment. Finding peace and release into our breath. Just a few relaxing exhales. Lengthening up our spine, shoulders release. So we're bending our knees, deep bend in the knees. Feel the tailbone, feel grounding. Shoulder blades squeeze back, heart reaches forward, lift the lungs. Heels can stay on the ground with just lifting the toes. Heels can float up off the ground. Maybe we bring the shins parallel or extend through the legs. Any variation of both. Continuing to hold on or extend. Finding 3 deep breaths. Now from here, we're going to bend one knee. Allow the other leg to be straight. Picking up the ribs on the inhale and then twist towards our bent knee as we exhale. Feeling a little release through our spine as we stretch into our breath. Remaining neutral. Let's lengthen out our legs again. Soften the knees or straight legs. Inhaling heart to the sky. Exhale, find the diagonal, deep heart opening, and then folding where we feel good stretching. Taking just a moment to breathe in to that relaxing posture, resting through our exhales. As we lengthen our spine back tall, we're bending our knees. Again, feeling the tailbone grounding and our thighs engage, shoulders squeeze in, heart open, same options. Just lifting the toes or the heels or parallel or straight. Holding on or reaching out, another 3 deep breaths. Shaking is normal. Now we'll bend the other knee, lengthening the other leg towards straight. Picking up the ribs on the inhale, twisting towards our bent knee as we exhale. Finding length, finding release in our spine, stretching through our breath. As we find our way back to neutral, returning our legs out ahead of us, rocking into our hips. Just a rolling movement side to side. Soften the knees or straight legs. Picking up the lungs. Return to the diagonal. Inhale, heart presses forward. Exhale, ribs release. Noticing a moment of rest and peace with our breath. Feeling relaxation through each exhale. Lengthening our spine and releasing our shoulders, guiding our feet to the front of our mats, making some space to relax on our spine, creating inner thigh engagement, lower belly engagement, holding on or reaching out. We're beginning to travel the spine towards the floor, feeling relaxation through our shoulders, Maybe lengthening out our arms and legs, finding stretch wherever our body gives us today, continuing to stretch and release. Maybe even bending the elbows, opening our feet, finding a moment of rest and peace, feeling a few relaxing breaths. And as our arms relax by our side, feeling our shoulder blades relaxing, our spine is tall. Feel the left toes stretching up to the sky. Feel the right outer hip open, and the right heel slides inside the left leg, anywhere it feels comfortable, like we're doing tree, upside down or reclined tree. Feeling a little relaxation as we feel just this external rotation with gravity in that right hip as our body relaxes in that passive relaxing stretch. If our body's found a really good place that it's enjoying today, we can continue in this variation of our reclined tree. We're welcome to slide this right ankle either on the thigh or the shin region, traveling the toe towards the knee, activating those lower leg muscles. And we're welcome to continue here, just a little different stretch. We're welcome to ground into the forearms, pressing the lower belly to the lower back. Find that stability in the spine, and then maybe that leg structure pulls the left sole of the foot up to the sky. And we can stay with our legs tall, reaching towards the ceiling. We can start a little bit of movement, letting our inhale lower that leg structure just to the point where you feel your lower back start to float up off the ground. And then exhale, bring it back up. And we'll get a little flowy movement, any range of motion, any pace of movement, or enjoying stillness with the legs stretching up towards the sky. Now the next time the legs reach up to the sky, we're bending the left knee, resting the sole of the foot to the ground. And now you feel a little peace and relaxation in the tailbone. We can stay here or move into a one-legged bridge, wiggling our shoulders and arms closer to the body. We have the option to inhale, thighs, hips, and heart open into this one-legged bridge. And breathe. Keep resting with our exhales. Letting the tailbone release. Letting the left heel slide back to the foot of the mat. Checking in with that right hip. It can stay right ankle above the knee, or you can slide that right pinky toe back towards the ground, and just taking a moment to notice how our hips and thighs feel now, maybe a little differently than they did when we began that little movement. And anytime we're ready to trade legs, we can extend the right leg towards straight, feel the left outer hip open, sliding the sole of that left foot anywhere inside the right leg, noticing that release of the left outer hip, externally rotating as it opens with gravity. And we breathe, feeling rest and peace here with our breath, just a few relaxing exhales. And then maybe we slide this pinky toe of the ankle over on top of the thigh or the shin. Then planting through our forearms, the shoulders, the lower back. We're guiding that leg structure up towards the sky to stay. Or allowing that next inhale to pull the legs closer towards the ground just till we feel that lower back float off the ground. And then exhale it back up to the ceiling. So we're creating movements, we're enjoying stillness, any range of motion, any pace of movement, whichever option feels the best on our bodies today. We're just breathing into that stretch. And next time the leg stretches up to the sky, we're bending that bottom right knee. Right sole of the foot rests under the knee. And we're welcome to relax here, enjoying this release through our tailbone and lower back. We'd like to move into a one-legged bridge. sliding our shoulders and our forearms closer to the body. Feel the grounding in that bottom heel as we lift our thighs, hips, and heart towards the sky, and feel the openness through the front side body as we breathe, finding stretch and relaxation into our breath. And anytime we're ready to relax the tailbone, we can slide that right heel back to the foot of the mat, taking a moment to feel gravity opening and releasing into that external rotation of this top left thigh. And we feel just a moment of rest and peace in our hips. If it feels okay, letting that pinky toe return to the ground, just a little different, stretching the thigh and the hips as we continue to breathe. Maybe noticing that we feel a little different stretch now than we did at our beginning or practice of the leg movements. Breathing into our stretch. From here, we're going to allow this outer hip of the right thigh to open again, sliding the soles of the feet together, feeling this reclined butterfly. Hips and thighs are opening with gravity, resting here just for a moment, feeling a few releasing exhales. As we press into our forearms, the lower belly, let's pick up the toes. Hands can reach up to the thighs or reach in between the legs towards the shins or all the way towards our feet, wherever our hips and legs feel stable. Let's relax the tailbone. Heels sink down closer towards the hips as the thighs stretch further away from our body. And breathe. A few relaxing breaths here. We're welcome to continue in this butterfly option, or slide the soles of the feet up to the sky into happy baby. Hands on feet, calf or thighs as we enjoy stillness, maybe rocking just a bit in our spine as we breathe. And maybe our feet reach towards the ground. Feel the inner thighs coming a little closer together. And then pick up our hips and reach them towards the right side of the mat. Both knees can stay bent. The left leg can go straight. We can feel the right knee reach across the body as we gaze towards the right. Arms can relax by our side if you want to send a hand to the thigh to encourage deeper rotation in our spine that's available, just wherever the body feels like stretching into the spinal rotation. Feeling a moment to breathe, relaxing into our exhales. We're ready, moving our body back into neutral, bending both knees. Now we'll trade, picking up the hips to the left side of the mat, maybe lengthening out the right leg and just letting that left knee travel across the midline of the body, gazing away from the bent knee, feeling as much rotation in our spine. Arms can rest by our side, or you can use a hand to send the thigh deeper towards the ground, find a little deeper stretch wherever our bodies feel like releasing into our rotation. Find a few relaxing exhales. back to neutral. Grounding the soles of the feet, the tailbone into the ground. Maybe reaching for our thighs, sending the thighs into the chest for grounding and stillness. Maybe adding a little rocking movement side to side. Maybe even opening the thighs away from the body as we inhale, folding the thighs back towards the chest as we exhale. We can feel a few back and forth movements, or maybe we feel like making some circling movements with our knees on the ceiling, rolling through the tailbone, the lower back, feeling a little relaxation through the tailbone, lower back, outer hips. We can stay in that direction of movement or circling the opposite direction, breathing. Anytime we're ready, we can find a place for relaxation. So maybe we send our feet wide, knees can be together, or if we feel like windshield wipering a few times, that's available. We can return to our reclined butterfly position, soles of the feet together, thighs opening out. Maybe we feel more like a traditional Shavasana today with our feet opening, our palms opening, our shoulder blades finding rest into the ground. And then we're feeling a little bit of an equal ratio breath today, letting our inhale move from the nose to the belly, our exhale release out of the belly, out of the nose. To feel that evenness in our breath, we can add a count to our breath, maybe counting to see how long it takes to expand the lungs on the inhale, and then using that same count to release the breath through the exhale. And as we breathe in that equal ratio breath, inhaling in the same count, exhaling out the same count, we'll have the option to continue with this count that we've created through our breathing practice. We can start expanding our count, but still keeping the equal ratio breath. So maybe adding a count to the breath with our next inhale, and a count to the breath with each exhale, maybe feeling a little bit more expanding and openness in our lungs and relaxation through the breath. Feeling just a moment to breathe, finding rest and peace through our breath. As we notice the evenness in our lungs, maybe noticing the balancing in our body as our breath begins to relax out any extra sensations, leaving us feeling rested and relaxed throughout our entire body as we breathe. Welcoming our breath into our fingers and our toes, allowing our breath to bring peace and release through our hands and our feet, breathing through our wrists and our ankles, allowing any movements in our body at any time, feeling relaxation through our exhales. As we continue to breathe through our arms and our legs, we feel peace all the way up into our elbows, our knees, the hips, the shoulders, sending the breath into our spine, releasing through our tailbone, through our lower back, our ribs, the shoulder blades, finding peace in the neck, the back of the head. We can enjoy the place that our bodies have allowed relaxation. We're welcome to reach our thighs back towards the chest and enjoy a moment of stillness in our spine, or maybe finding a few more movements side to side or back and forth. Just a few stretching and relaxing exhales, wherever our body feels the best today. And anytime we're ready, sending our bodies over onto our side, if that feels comfortable. Always welcome to stay on our spine. As we feel a little relaxation, traveling our breath from one side of the body in peace, rest and relaxation. Allowing anything not helping those areas to release out through our exhales, finding more space for that peaceful, restful, calming breath. As we're ready, guiding our body up into a comfortable seated option, choosing anything that feels good on our legs. Our tailbone begins to relax, our spine grows tall, our shoulders release. Let's flow the palms open. With our inhale, guiding fingers to the sky. With our exhale, sending thumbs to the heart. Couple more breaths. Inhale, reaching open. Exhaling, resting down. Let's find one more breath together. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, resting. Namaste. Thank you for everyone hanging out with me. Yoga, the first day of fall.